Hello, hello. It's your astrologer friend, Kimberly, coming to you with the astrology report, 15th of June. Huh? 15th of June to the 21st of June. I won't hit my computer. Excuse the appearance. My hair, everything is not really working as it should today, but whatevs. I'm coming to you anyway. So let's go ahead and share the screen, looking at the astrology of the week ahead. So I've set the time for 7 a.m. Monday morning in UK time. So adjust accordingly to your time zone. But you will see there that we have just hours before experienced the new moon in Gemini. So this is Monday, 15th of June. Sorry, I'm coming to you late. It is tomorrow. We're heading into the new moon in Gemini, which I will also be doing a post on the art of astrology. So look out for that too. Please watch that too, because that will have a horoscope by sign. But here you can see we're in the heart of Gemini season. The moon is coming out of its new moon moment. Take a breath. Gemini is the lungs, the arms, the hands, the nervous system. It's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is now in Cancer, settled, thinking about family, thinking about home, back to roost, coming home to roost. So we've got this new moon energy, which is all about new beginnings, but also about a consolidation of stillness and darkness. So we're starting this new week off with the new moon and that new moon energy. And then as we kind of get into Monday day, the moon fairly quickly enters Cancer. It's sign of domicile, it's sign of home. So we're just waxing into this moment of considerable Cancer energy, which lingers for 2.5 days because the moon spends about 2.5 days in a sign. So moon in Cancer is all about nourishment, nurture, comfort, highly sensitive, highly emotional themes. And we've also got Mercury there, and we've also got Jupiter there, expansive Jupiter. Now at the same, so that's to say that you can really lean into Cancer themes, your Jupiter in Cancer story, depending on what that has been. And I've told you over and over and over and over again what there is, and there's posts on my Substack about this. So leaning into the very last few days of Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter enters Leo 30th of June. So what are we on now? We've got like 2 more weeks of Jupiter in Cancer, this being the most potent moment to enjoy, to expand, to lean into this energy, because the moon is in its domicile sign. The moon is powerful, strong, and sensitive in Cancer. So really get in there, get into that energy. Might be hard, however, as a Venus is sextile to Uranus. Okay, so Cancer energy, nurture, feed, be sensitive, be compassionate, feel your feelings. However, note, we've also got this really strong signature. Venus in Leo, dazzling, which she's already in there as I send this email, as I write this, as I send this, as I speak to this. Venus is already in Leo. So you can see there, Venus is the pink hand mirror, Aphrodite, syncing with Uranus. Looks like an alien sat down there. I've coloured mine bright blue because it is the contemporary ruler of Aquarius, zany and, unorthodox, unconventional, surprising. So you'll read my horoscopes and you might see that I've referenced that today, this day, is all about doing things differently, especially in terms of fashion and beauty, although I need to catch up, I guess, on my side of the coin, because Uranus is all about disruption. So we've got Venus there. So the first aspect that Venus makes this week, while the moon is sitting pretty in Cancer, Venus sextiles Uranus. Okay, so that happens late Monday or Tuesday, if you will. And that, as I say, is a radical, spontaneous, surprising energy that we might tap into. And I've put sparks fly as Venus in Leo connects with Uranus. So expect excitement and perhaps even drama, because, of course, Leo is all about the dramatic effect. So ahead we move into Tuesday. Again, as I said, moon will spend that time huddled with Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury is our thinking planet. Jupiter is our planet of knowledge and growth. So our minds can really be engaged in Cancer themes. Really potent there, but it's just not all, it's not the full picture, right? So we can't just say, oh, it's Cancer, Cancer, Cancer themes, because Venus is approaching a trine to Neptune. This is pretty special. Venus, Aphrodite, the planet of relationships, of love, beauty, inspiration when it comes to the creative arts, civilization, humanity, and how we experience that rapport, interpersonal rapport. Mercury is about connection and trade and commerce, but Venus is about the more affable qualities of, you know, how we attract a mate, how we live life in a way that is beautiful and civilized. Remember, it's the ruler of both Taurus and Libra. So there, Venus, Aphrodite, and its planet of higher octave. So Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, Neptune being omniscience, oneness, surrendering to coming together with others. Poseidon, planet of the sea, planet of collective, all our collective unconscious or consciousness at that very high level. So Venus, Neptune conspiring together in this trine, this harmonious trine, is pretty sublime, pretty supreme, pretty to be harnessed for good purposes, of course, never for evil. But we might indulge a sweet fantasy. Venus is all about indulgence and sweetness, and Neptune is fantasy. Whack on Mariah Carey, sweet, sweet fantasy baby. She's an Aries. Let's do it. But on a serious note, dare to dream, dare to use your imagination, dare to kind of light a fire within yourself that is visionary and palpable and warm, because these are both in fire signs, Dramarama, Leo, and Aries, sign of individuality and taking, almost like there's a risk-taking palpability coming through here. So Venus aligns with Neptune. She's already sparked off Uranus. These are two really significant aspects that have already been made by Wednesday, 1 a.m. And then, lo and behold, we finish off this transit of the moon connecting with Uranus. Mars is also playing into this. Mars at 21 degrees. There's lots of synergy between Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, and the moon. And then, lo and behold, the moon connects with Venus. So remember, these are two highly feminine influences in the chart. The moon being our, motherly instincts, our nourishment, our nurturing principles, together with Venus, how we play, how we attract, how we dance a waltz around the ballroom. These two coming together, it's quite yum, scrum, diddly, However, they are opposing Pluto. Boom. Look at Pluto over there, like that potent, pronounced Pluto in Aquarius. And so, as the moon perfects its conjunction to Venus, we are literally having that Venus-Pluto opposition. It is so punchily exact, I cannot even tell you. So look here, the moon reaches 7. I mean, guys, let's just drink it in a second. These two planets conjunct exactly, precisely opposite Pluto. Still connecting with Uranus, still connecting with Neptune. We say that in astrology, an aspect can be as much as 10 degrees. Rick Levine famously says that, how wide can an aspect be? I think he says something like 360 degrees as a joke, because the planets talk to each other. But here they are locking into conversation. Conversation's a tricky word to use because, of course, Mercury at this point is still with Jupiter in Cancer. But you know what I'm trying to say here. The planets are conversing, the planets are conspiring, might be a good word to use. But we're at loggerheads. We're engaged in a seesaw given that Venus moon are literally on the polar opposite of the spectrum to Pluto in Aquarius. Crazy times, guys, like intense arama. Let me just take away the south node in Virgo there. So we get, and also the north node in Pisces. Really, really, really striking energy there, that seesaw dynamic. So what I've put there is the Moon and Venus oppose Pluto, so be mindful of power struggles in love, friendship, and relationship dynamics. But more than that, I've also heard of a lot of deaths happening in the last few hours. I came onto a meeting and somebody had had three. I myself have known one of the fellows, and somebody else has mentioned a parent being in ICU, which is also very, very tenuous and close to the bone. And I feel like that Pluto planet, still, Saturn, the other planet of kind of hardship, is not too far away as well. So this dynamic is really kicking off, let's say, just as when anything happens in the stars, things turn up the heat in and here on Earth, that's what's happening. So then it dissipates, it kind of breaks up as the moon moves away. But I mean, it's still going through Leo. So we've still got the sun and the moon conspiring and syncing together in Gemini and Leo there. And also Chiron at 29 degrees. And then Chiron will enter Taurus as well. So I've put sparkle and shine because I just think the sun is so resplendent, and in Gemini it's really light-footed and dynamic, and dramatic Leo again, shine. Dare to step out on the stage of life with your mask, your kind of dramatic, what do they call it? The Venetian ball, like put your mask on and, tread the boards, have a dramatic time to shine. So then it's the last day of Gemini season. And by this point, we're kind of like, I'm not saying we're out of the woods or out of what's exciting and dynamic, but we do have that little moon clashing with Uranus. But otherwise, that dramatic moment of the week is really that moon Venus opposite of Pluto. I will also include, so this is summer solstice when the sun enters Cancer. This is the longest day of the year, the shortest night. And actually, William Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream is based upon the evening before summer solstice. So you can consider watching a play or a televised version of A Midsummer Night's Dream. How lovely for that evening. I think it will be Saturday night. They also, just as the thinning of the veil happens on Halloween, they also say there is an air of magic and mystery at a midsummer night, a midsummer night's eve, the eve of midsummer. So midsummer would be summer solstice. And the eve before is when we're at 29 degrees of magical, mysterious Gemini. Light-footed fairies, elves, and sprites come out to play on this kind of vibe. So get out your fairy wings, put your tiara on, and channel Michelle Pfeiffer in my favourite version of A Midsummer Night's Dream with Rupert Everett and what's her name? I can't remember the other lady, but she's got a stellium in Cancer and she's gorgeous. Anyhow, so that's the last day of Gemini season. You can see here Chiron has moved into Taurus. I'm not going to make a big song and dance about Chiron because I really still feel it's an under-researched asteroid. So I don't have any hot take or sound bite for Chiron moving into Taurus. I will say it's been on my sun. It's been painful. I've had an ego puncturing couple of a few days, I would say. I've really been like not feeling my feelings, but I definitely feel that Chiron on the sun, maybe you've experienced this transit. I really feel like Chiron on the sun has been a bit of a slap in the face slash just like tender energy in a tiny way. So thankfully, your girl is a strong cookie Aries, so I can take it. Can take a slap here and there from the universe. Don't you dare give me a real slap, though. Anyway, so that's solstice. And then, interestingly or fascinatingly, maybe, we come into the first quarter Libra moon and we get two first quarter Libra moons. We get one at the very beginning and then we get another one next month. So that's kind of interesting. I'm already writing the horoscopes ahead of time for, must be a month away. But yes, you can catch my forecasts daily on Elle magazine, and I release a monthly too. But here is that first quarter moon in Libra perfecting right after summer solstice. And of course, all these planets in Cancer do answer to the moon in Libra. So it does give it more credence, more status among the stars coming into that opposition with Neptune as we round off the week. Okay. So that's what I'm going to share with you about this week. It is an exciting week. Summer solstice, that Venus, Moon, Pluto opposition is what you're really going to want to be focusing in on. That is the cornerstone, the key moment. Venus being the planet in the spotlight this week. Venus immediately making a sextile to Uranus. Venus immediately making a trine to Neptune, and then Venus making that opposition to Pluto. You might feel it more if you are a Taurus or a Libra. You might feel it more if you are in a year of annual perfections, which casts Venus as the Lord, the ruler of your year. I'm personally am in a Saturnian year, so but we can all pay attention to Venus. It doesn't matter what's going on with us. We might be having planets at those early degrees of fire or earth, or fire or air, or we might have clashes with earth and water. Please do get in touch. But it is a dynamic, exciting week. I'm still seem to be recovering from my lurgy. So I spent the Venus-Jupiter conjunction underwhelmed, but I had lovely times before that. But yeah, it's been a week. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there, and then I'm going to record the old new moon in Gemini forecast imminently. But I got to pop out and meet a friend first, so I might change my outfit and let's get this hair done this week, guys. I'm looking so not on point, but let's get it sorted. Love you guys so much. And yeah, enjoy the week. I'm here with any questions needing to be answered. I'm your gal, maybe. Big hugs, lots of love.